suggested civic structures in the city gardens of Gandhara. As we know that there are several architectural companies depicted in the Buddhist art of Gandhara. I have next please. So these depiction of architecture can be categorized as sacred architecture, known as stupas, viharas, temples. Then we have secular architectural depictions, huts, palaces, city gates, wall towers, and so many. Then we have non-Buddhist funerary monuments depicted in the Buddhist art of Gandhara. They are tombs or graves. Apart from that, we have also supportive architecture such as balconies, arches, pillars, pilasters, brackets, and a variety of decorative motifs, including geometrical and floral, etc. So, apart from all these depictions of architecture, the relief panels also hint at other elements of the built environment which are not physically carved. They are not explicitly carved, but rather depicted in certain ways. And I have given a term to these depictions as implied structures. So these implied structures, they are shown through contextual activities or through daily life scenes in the reliefs. So these are not direct architecture, but indirect depiction. So these indirect depictions of the architectural companies, they include city roads, bathing areas, playgrounds, schools, mandap or wedding pavilions, crematoriums, famous cities of the ancient India, and we can get an idea that how civic architecture was depicted at that time, or how civic urbanism was there at that ancient in the ancient Gandhara. Next, please. Now I will discuss about one by one. First of all, I would like to discuss about the city roads. All the city roads are not explicitly carved in Gandhara Buddhist reliefs. Their presence is implied through repeated depictions of varied modes of transport. For example, elephants, horses, camels, ox carts, and horse-drawn chariots. These occur in key episodes of the early life of Prince Siddhartha, who later became known as Buddha. I would like to start with the previous birth stories of the Buddha, which are known as Jataks. So in the Vishwantar Jatak, the Vishwantar Bodhisattva, in this relief panel, he is shown driving on a horse-drawn chariot. This is the famous scene from the site of Marjani, located in Swat Valley. And in this relief panel, the newly born Prince Siddhartha is being transported from the Lumbini garden to the palace at Kapila Vastu. Next, please. You can see here. Again, the transportation of the baby from the Lumbini garden to the palace at Kapila Vastu. Next, please. Again, transportation of the baby and Queen Maya in a palanquin, or known as a dolly or litter, from the Lumbini garden to Kapila Vastu. Next, please. This is also the same scene. Queen Maya is holding the baby, and you can see here the horse riders who are preceding this palanquin. Next, please. Now, Prince Siddhartha, he is going to school, and this is the school going scene. Next, please. As we know that Prince Siddhartha, he did many contests with his opponents or rivals, including his cousin and stepbrother. But when he won all these contests, King Shadudan, who was his father, he sent a state elephant to bring back his victorious son. So this is that procession, and this is the state elephant sent to bring back Prince Siddhartha to the palace. Next, same scene. Next. So now this is the wedding procession that Siddhartha is proceeding to his Royal Palace with Yashodhara in Palanquin. Here you can see Palanquin later on, the Asian subcontinent we call it Loli. Next please. This is again the bridal procession. Next please. Now the Great Renunciation. Everyone who are aware of Gandhara, they know that when Prince Siddhartha, he left his palace in search of truth. So this is that scene there, and that is known as the Great Renunciation. Next please. Now after the death of Buddha, when his physical body was cremated and the ashes, they were distributed among 8 or 7 kingdoms and 8 or 7 rulers of different kingdoms from all over the Indian subcontinent. So these rulers, they are taking their share of the sacred relics to their own states or their kingdoms. That is that scene. Next please. Again, distribution of the relics and transportation of the relics. Here, Drona is distributing the relics among the 7 or 8 rulers, and they are going back to their respective kingdoms. Next please. Transportation of the relics and distribution of the relics. The same scene. Next please. And this is also transportation of the relics, ceremonial transportation rather we can say, and this chariot is drawn by lions. Next please. Here again, the transportation of the relics. Next please. Again, transportation of the relics. Next. And here you can also see oxen chariots or ox chariots, and everyone who is aware of the Gandhara art, they know that the 2 merchant brothers, Prapush and Balika, they are when their caravan was passing by where Buddha was meditating. So that is that specific popular scene, but my intention is here to depict these city roads and these transportation systems. Next please. This is a camel-driven chariot from Shnesha side, Swat Valley. Next please. So all these relief panels, they depict and the orderly movement of such depictions of such vehicles, often accompanied by attendants and processional arrangements. They show that there were some city roads, there were some thoroughfares, and it was an established civic organization at that time. Next please. Bathing areas. In Gandhara art, bathing areas linked to the scene of Prince Siddhartha's first bath after his birth in Lumbini garden. Buddhist text. Go to the previous one, please. So Buddhist texts such as the Lalita Vista describe how the newborn prince was ceremonially bathed with scented water brought in golden and silver vessels, attended by royal nurses and courtiers along with celestial beings. So if you can go to the next one. We don't have any specific bathing area or like bathrooms, but from the activities and from the context of the scene we can see that there were some bathing places at that time at the royal palace, like the concept of bathroom was there. Next please. The young prince is standing on a tripod and he is given bath by his attendants or royal nurses. Next please. Again, the same scene from the Peshawar Museum. The young prince is standing on a tripod. He is given bath by the celestial beings, and a parasol is upon him. Next please. Same scene. Next. So, apart from bathing areas, we do have schools depicted in the Buddhist art of Gandhara. We don't have any solid structure of school, but the composition suggests an educational space. In the narrative reliefs, a lot of episodes from the early life of Prince Siddharth enlighten us that there were some there were some schools or institutions like that or learning spaces. So Siddharth appears with other students and a teacher figure, sometimes holding a scroll or writing tablet. The figure arrangement and presence of writing materials evoke a formal learning context. Attendants or guards hint at a special private area, possibly within the royal palace. Despite the absence of classrooms or architectural features, the reliefs communicate the idea of schooling. Next, please. So these are some scenes from the school. Next. Apart from this, next please, we have playgrounds. So there are certain scenes, please go to the next one, from which we can assume that there were some playgrounds, because in different scenes from the early life of Prince Siddharth, we are aware that there were some contests between him and his opponents, like the archery contest. So these previous one, please. Here we can see this wrestling scene and the hurling of the dead elephant, and above the balconies, these are the spectators watching over the contest. Next, please. So all these scenes. Next, please. Next. Next, please. So all these scenes, they suggest that there were certain types of playgrounds. Then we have mandap or sacred pavilions in the wedding scenes of Prince Siddharth and Yashoda. So there are not proper architecture of a wedding hall or that like structure, but from the context and from the activities over there, ceremonial or ritual activities, we can say that there were certain type of those structures. Next, please. So this is the bridal scene or wedding scene. Next, please. Again, the bride and the groom, they are taking Satapada or 7 steps around the sacred fire or Agni. Next. We do have crematoriums that, as I mentioned earlier, that after the death of Buddha, he was cremated. So we do have, next please. His body is being cremated over here. Next please. Again, the death scene and the cremation scene. Next please. After the cremation, the relics are on a throne and they are being guarded by these people. Next please. The death scene and on the left, the cremation scene. Again, the relics are on a stand and being guarded. Next please. Again, the death and the cremation scene. So there were certain types of grounds or open grounds for the cremation of the dead bodies. Apart from these, we do have scenes from which we can say that which hint towards different cities of the ancient India. So Kapilavastu, in many scenes of the early life of Siddharth, we assume that Kapilavastu city is shown, like the departure scene. Next please. Next, Rajgiri, like Shri Buddha's attempt to harm Buddha in that scene. Rajagir or Rajgiri, that ancient city was depicted. Next please. Very famous scene. Next, again that Shri Buddha's invitation of Buddha to his palace to harm him. Next please. Shravasti. So prominently depicted in miracle scenes such as the twin miracles or Yamaka Pratiha. Next please. Again Shravasti scene. Sarnath, where the Buddha delivered his first sermon after attaining enlightenment. Next please. This is the first sermon and the 2 years and we can assume that this is the place where Buddha delivered his first speech, and this is of course Sarnath or Buddhaya later. So Uruvilva many scenes in which Buddha tries to convince Kashyap brothers or Kashyaps to leave the fire worship. So next please. Uruvilva, the temple of Uruvilva. Next. This is also Buddha visiting Kashyap, and the place is Uruvilva. Kushinagar. Death scene, as all of us know that Buddha was died at Kushinagar and his relics were distributed at the gate of Kushinagar. So we do have many scenes in which the city of Kushinagar is depicted. So these scenes from the Peshawar Museum, you can see that Kushinagara's city gate is shown here. Again the Marjani relief, again the guarding of the Buddha's relics and the city gate of Kushinagar. Next please. So conclusion is this, that apart from the physical or explicitly carved architecture of the ancient India, we do have other civic structures which are not physically carved but rather they are implied. And we can say that they had a very strong or very well developed urban system. So the time is over, and if anyone have any question.